Every single one of us in this room has dreams. Dreams of success, of freedom, of building something greater than ourselves. But let me be honest with you, dreams don't work unless you do. And not just casually, not just when it's convenient, not just when you feel inspired. I'm talking about working harder than you ever thought possible. Because in today's world, average effort guarantees average results, and average results will never give you the life you truly want. You see, people love to talk about success, they love to imagine it, they even love to post about it, but very few are willing to pay the price. The truth is, hard work is not optional, it's the entry ticket. And if you want to rise above the rest, you must stop negotiating with your excuses, stop waiting for the perfect moment, and start demanding more from yourself than anyone else ever could. I'm here to tell you something you may not want to hear. Nobody is coming to save you, nobody owes you anything, and nobody will hand you success. The only way forward, the only way to win is to work at seeing harder. Harder than your competition, harder than your doubts, harder than your circumstances. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to break down the mindset, the habits, and the unshakable discipline it takes to separate yourself from the crowd. And if you're willing to listen, not just hear, but truly listen, you'll leave here today with the tools and the fire to transform your life. This is not just a speech, it's a wake-up call. And it begins right now. Would you like me to expand this into a full 2-3 minute opening monologue, flowing naturally into key point 1? Or keep it as this tight, high-impact intro? You said, excuses are the easiest thing in the world to make, and the most expensive thing you will ever own. People convince themselves that they don't have enough time, that they weren't given the right opportunities, that they didn't have the right background or the right resources. But let me tell you something, none of that matters if you refuse to do the work. The moment you allow an excuse to take root in your mind, you've already chosen defeat before the game even started. Life doesn't hand out trophies for effort you thought about making. It rewards action, it rewards persistence, it rewards those who refuse to be defined by their circumstances. We all know someone who has less than us, yet they do more. Less education, less money, fewer connections, fewer advantages, but they find a way to make it work because they don't spend their time building excuses. They spend it building results. Success doesn't care how you start. It only cares how hard you're willing to push when everything around you tells you to stop. Excuses may make you feel better in the moment, but they will rob you of every single opportunity you could have had. Every time you tell yourself, I can't, what you're really saying is, I won't. You're admitting that comfort matters more than progress, that fear matters more than ambition, and that convenience matters more than your future. That's a dangerous trade to make because your future doesn't wait for you to feel ready. The truth is, nobody is stopping you, except you. And the longer you feed your excuses, the weaker your discipline becomes, and the further your dreams slip out of reach. The ones who win are not the ones who had perfect conditions. They are the ones who decided to stop blaming the world and start owning their actions. Excuses are heavy, and the longer you carry them, the slower you move. But when you let them go, when you finally hold yourself accountable, you create space for growth, for change, and for unstoppable momentum. The choice is simple. Either keep making excuses or start making progress. You cannot do both. Outworking everyone around you isn't about comparing yourself to others. It's about holding yourself to a higher standard than most people are willing to accept. The truth is, most people are comfortable doing just enough to get by. They'll put in the minimum hours, the minimum effort, and then wonder why they're stuck in the same place year after year. If you want something extraordinary, you cannot afford to settle for ordinary effort. You have to be willing to go further, to stay longer, to push harder, and to keep going long after others have stopped. That is the price of success, and it's a price too many people are unwilling to pay. When you look at the most successful people in the world, you'll see one thing in common. They outwork everyone. They aren't always the most talented, the most connected, or even the most educated, but they are relentless. They are the first ones in and the last ones out. They refuse to let fatigue, rejection, or setbacks dictate their story. They keep showing up, they keep grinding, and they keep moving forward when everyone else has tapped out. And because of that, they separate themselves from the crowd. You have to decide if you're willing to put in that kind of work. It means sacrificing comfort, sacrificing free time, sometimes even sacrificing sleep. It means saying no to things that don't move you closer to your goal, and yes to the things that demand your focus, discipline, and energy. It's not glamorous, it's not easy, and it will often feel unfair because you'll be working harder than the people around you, and for a while, you may not see immediate results. But let me promise you, over time, the compounding effect of your hard work will make you unstoppable. At the end of the day, effort is the great equalizer. You may not control where you start, but you control how much you're willing to give. And if you can outwork everyone around you, not just for one day, not just for 1 week, but consistently, you will rise. If you want to win, you have to decide right now that discipline, not motivation, will drive your actions. Because at the end of the day, the future belongs to those who have the discipline to work FCKING harder every single day. The reason most people never reach their true potential is because they stop the moment things get uncomfortable. They want success, but only if it comes easy. They want growth, but only if it feels good. The problem is, real progress doesn't happen inside the walls of comfort. Comfort is the enemy of greatness because it keeps you safe, it keeps you average, and it keeps you stuck exactly where you are. If you want to become someone you've never been, you have to be willing to do things you've never done, and that means stepping straight into discomfort. Every breakthrough in life comes with resistance. The first time you push past the voice in your head that says, stop, that's when you start building strength. The first time you keep going when your body aches, when your mind screams for rest, that's when you discover how much more you're capable of. Growth doesn't happen when it's easy. It happens when it hurts, when it stretches you, when it forces you to dig deeper than you ever thought possible. That's where character is built, that's where resilience is formed, and that's where true transformation begins. You cannot protect your comfort and chase greatness at the same time. One has to be sacrificed for the other. If you cling to ease, you will always settle full. But if you choose the harder path, if you embrace the discomfort, eventually that pain becomes power. What once felt impossible begins to feel normal, and then suddenly, you're operating at a level you never believed you could. That's the reward for pushing beyond comfort.